So tonight, I thought that we would talk about 5 mindset strategies that will help you improve today. And the first one is, and then I'll tell you the 5, and then we'll dissect them. Be completely open with yourself about where you are in your training. Number 2, know what kind of rider you want to be. Include the level that you want to ride, what kind of values you want to bring to the sport, what kind of knowledge is important to you. So do you enjoy knowing more about horse health, about gut health, about lameness? We can't know everything about everything. So what is the most important things to you to learn about? And then how do you want this experience to feel? So know what kind of rider you want to be. Number 3, accept responsibility for moving yourself forward. Number 4, embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. And then number 5, start and finish every day with gratitude. So I will go through each one, kind of talk about each one and why I think it's important to us in our writing. If you have something resonates with you, you can always do your thumbs up or your heart. You can put stuff in the comments if you want to. Totally fine. Let's get started. So the first one, and these are like mindsets that you want to go, it doesn't only apply to riding, but it'll make a big difference in our riding when we come to our rides with these things in mind. So be completely open with yourself about where you are in your training. And then I made a little self-talk to run in your head to remind. So my power is in the present. So oftentimes we end up with the past in front of us and the present behind us, which means we're looking all the time at what was going on in the past. How did this go before? The mistakes that we made, why things didn't work. So my power is in the present. My power, my ability to take action, my ability to do something about what's going on right now is in the present. So I want to put that present in front of me, and I want to put my past behind me. I don't need to be looking at it all the time. Sometimes I might utilize some experiences that I had, but I don't want that past to be in front of me. I want all the time. I get up in the morning, I'm going to put my present in front. What does the day look ahead? And I'm going to put that past behind me. I might pick some things out if I need to learn, remember something from my experience, but I don't need to be looking at that past all the time. So, number 1, it is okay not to be perfect. This is all about be completely open with yourself about where you are and in your training. It's okay not to be perfect. So I do need to look at some of those imperfections. I don't want to feel any kind of shame or any kind of, low self-worth because I'm not perfect at everything. It's okay not to be perfect. It is important to accept where you are and to start working from this place. A big mistake that I see people making is trying to skip steps. And then they find that you go along and eventually there's a point of no return because we didn't put those building blocks in. Our base isn't secure. So if we accept where we are and then we start building up that foundation, the foundation will feel really secure. Acknowledge what skills need improvement. So that's what we talk about when we're talking about the levels of learning and kind of rating ourselves on those things and knowing which ones we need to target first to move ourselves forward fluently. Ask for help in these areas. So how are we going to get better if we don't allow ourselves to ask for help? And you might look toward specialists in certain areas that you want. These mindsets are all about you taking control of your learning. So directing what you want to learn, and that's important. So we might want to find videos, books, or specialists in certain areas. Watch specialists in videos. If you have a certain desire to work with certain types of horses or to tackle certain training issues, you can work with people or, get knowledge out of people that have already walked down that road, that have already gone down that path. You don't need to go and do everything brand new. Some things are going to be unique to your feeling, to your values, to the place that you want to be in the sport. But other things, some people have probably already covered. And so you want to be able to access help. It's okay to be the learner. We're going to embrace, and that is number 6. We're going to embrace 5, embrace being the learner. And then comparisons are the thief of joy. So everyone is on their own journey. If we know where we are in our training, then we can take the steps that we need to make to get better. And I think that we've all seen those riders that move along, and all of a sudden you see somebody that was just learning, coming into the sport brand new, and there they are making steady progress. And then you see other people that end up just not being able to get that traction. So we want to be the ones that are making that steady. I'm not comparing is it's the hardest thing to do, but we want to be the ones that are making our own steady progress. It's so true. When we can put those blinkers on, you're going to have so much more fun. You're going to learn the things that you want to learn the things that you need to learn. You can be happy about other people's successes, but it doesn't affect where you are. Society wants us to be comparing ourselves to other people. Society is all the time creating comparisons with all the advertising that they do, with all the trying to get us. What are they talking about? All of our faults all the time, right? That's how they sell us things, is by bringing up all these things that are wrong with us so that we buy the products. We have to put our fingers in the ears. We have to know our own worth. We have to know our own passions in this. We have to know where we want to go and how we want to do it and what does it look like for us. And that's not going to be the same as everybody, because there are certain people out there that would do certain things to get to a level in this sport happily without any stress whatsoever that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't do at all, right? I might have done things in the past that I didn't know better how to do that I wouldn't do now. So, even just comparing myself to myself 5 years ago, myself 10 years ago, myself 20 years ago, right? But this is something that's so important is enjoy that other people are having success. Let yourself, that feeling when I was writing this, and in one of the other ones, we're going to talk about that feeling when you really are digging in and going after something that you want. When you can be honest with yourself about where you are in your training and what you want to learn, you're going to fight for those things and you're going to get better at it. But when you're trying to pretend so that you look good in front of other people, you're not going to knuckle down and learn those things. And then you're going to feel uncomfortable under pressure. So feeling confident and feeling good about what you're doing is going to be the most that's going to feed that is that honesty and that authenticity that you bring to yourself. So we want to be careful about that. No comparisons. I love that you that you notice that it is difficult, but my power is in the present. So that's going to be our self-talk in that moment. My power is in the present. I'm going to, get that past behind me. I'm looking forward to today, to next week, to next month. I'm looking forward to those goals that I've set up, and I've got my past behind me. Get up every morning and do that on purpose, because so many of us are looking at that past all day long. And we don't focus on the present. We don't focus on that future, that bright future that we have. So self-talk number one is my power is in the present. That's the only place that if I take action, something's going to happen in a good way. Number two, know what kind of rider you want to be. Include the level, the values, the knowledge that is important to you, as well as what you want for your experience. Different people want different things out of their horse experience. Some really want that connection with the horse and that dance partner. Some people want ribbons and a little bit of notoriety. Some people want the social aspect of it and just going to the horse shows, spending time with their friends, experiencing that whole thing. They don't have that as much of a competitive thing. They don't even worry if they're moving up the levels as long as they're hanging out with their friends. Totally fine. Just know what you want. And then for this one, our self-talk is going to be, my future is bright and I see where I want to go and what I want to experience. And don't worry about taking notes, because you know that I'm going to email you the notes. My future is bright and I see where I want to go and what I want to experience. And number one out of that is, what level is it that you want to ride? What is your dream as far as riding? Do you want to ride Grand Prix? Let yourself admit that to yourself. Is riding third level in a flying change, is that good enough? What level is it your dream to ride? When you are learning, do you want to be a trainer? because you're training your horse no matter what, whenever you're riding. You're training your horse no matter what. But if you really want to be a trainer, then the way that you're going to learn, the way you're going to approach things is going to be a little bit different. Is showing important to you? Again, you don't have to want to show to want to learn more and move up the levels. But if showing is important, then the way that you're going to learn, who you're going to learn from, how you're going to approach it is going to be a little bit different than the person that just wants to ride and doesn't ever want to go to horse shows. If you want to show, what's the reason that you want to show? For me, it was always about taking my partnership out into a different arena, adding that outside influence, and really noticing and challenging myself to keep that rapport with my horse, to be able to test my training in a different environment. Of course, I always go to the horse show thinking I'm going to win because I like to do that. However, the most important thing really is about, for me, was about maintaining my training and being able to manage my skill level and keep my horse relaxed under all circumstances. So what is the reason you want to show? Everybody's going to have a little bit different value in that area. And then what values do you want to bring to the sport? And I think that that's so important right now, that there's so much going on in all of the equestrian sports. There's just so much going on, and it's overwhelming, and we don't really know what to do about it. But I think that what is it that Gandhi says? Be the change that you want to see in the world. So we need to be it. We need to be the people that are training our horses in a really solid and positive way. We need to be the ones that go to the horse show with patience and with compassion. We need to be the people that are able to control our emotions even when we have a little bit of a setback or a bad day. And when we can be that, then we're creating a successful sport. We can't just point fingers at everybody else and then lose our cool when things aren't going well. So that's really important. What values do you want to bring to the sport? And that there's so many different ways you can interpret that. But I think it's important for us to know, so that when we are involved with our horses, in training our horses, in all of these things, that we are being good representatives and really taking good care of our horses. What about horses brings you joy? So this is so important because I see so many people forgetting this. Sometimes at home, maybe they don't even wait till the horse show to forget why horses are so much fun. But I for sure see it a lot at the horse shows, that stress and that worry and that anxiety of putting yourself, in front of the judges and the judgment of all the people around. Always remembering every day, why are we doing this and what brings us joy? Because it's not easy riding horses. It's a lot of work. And we do it because that partnership and that connection that we feel with them is so special. Everybody has a little bit different something about the horses that makes them feel good. But remind yourself about what it is that brings you joy. And then the last one in this is, what aspects of horse care are important to you and you want to learn more about? They're important because they're fun to know more about. They're important to you because you want to have influence in those areas. You've seen things not going right for other people. You want to make sure that doesn't happen to you, whatever it is. But just start to have an idea of what, there's so much to it, right? We have to keep our horses sound. We have to keep them shod correctly. We've got to feed them right. We have to be able to know their body language if they're uncomfortable. That's, all the things, their daily care, the hay they get, the food they get, all of this going out, what boots, what tack, is the saddle fit, all of these things. But you can specialize in a couple of those areas and get to feel really fluent in one or two, and then seek help in the other ones, and then just start to build your wealth of knowledge in addition to your riding, so that you can spot things sooner if things start to go wrong. But we can't learn everything all at once. So just start to have that list. What is really fun for me to know more about? What intrigues me about this? And then seek out somebody that can help you with that. So number 3 is accept responsibility for moving yourself forward. And the self-talk for this one is, I can choose where I put my effort. And this one, I think is so important, because a lot of times we allow other people to influence us, and then because it's someone else's idea, or someone else told us this is the way to do it, and we didn't really have our eye on the ball, the amount of effort that we put in is not going to be 100%. And I find it so, like, if I get on the treadmill, and I'm on the treadmill because I have to be on the treadmill because I said I was going to walk a couple miles today, then I put in a podcast and I walk on the treadmill. But I don't really put effort in, right? But if I get on the treadmill because I want to sweat, and because I want to get that 6-pack abs, and I want to really get myself more fit, then every single step that I take on that treadmill is going to feel different. And so knowing what is the outcome and where am I going to put the most amount of effort, I think needs to come from us inside. So if you know that what you need to work on, which is number 1, what are the areas I need to work on honestly? And then, can I talk to my trainer about that? Where can I be honest and vulnerable with my trainer about where I feel those deficits are? And then we can get on the same page, and then I can be putting effort in because I know that my trainer knows what I want to change. Or if I go out and I ride by myself, and I really know what is that thing that I want to focus on, and I'm going to kind of block some of that other noise out, and I'm going to really work on that. So can I give myself 10 minutes in this ride to only worry about working on my seat? And can I block out a little bit of the other things for a minute? Yeah, maybe, my horse lost the rhythm a little bit, or the head came up a little bit. Was I able to stay with the motion while those things were going on? Because for this 10 minutes, I'm just going to be hyper focused on working on my seat. So what are the areas that I need to work on honestly? And then I'm going to put 100% in of my effort. And then no blame game. Even when things do not go as planned, Can I accept my part in that scenario? And how can I do better next time? So I hear, especially if I haven't worked with someone before, and I start hearing about why the horse is in the state that it's in. Lately, I get some of these horses that are problem children. And I start listening to the whole thing. And it's very rare that you will find somebody saying, I did not do this right. It's this trainer told me to do that. That trainer told me to do that. You know, my vet did this, whatever, whatever. And they forget about that personal responsibility. And of course, we also have to pick, you know, good people to work with. And it's hard to change relationships when things aren't going the right way. And I understand all these things. And I have made mistakes in these areas, of course. However, when we stand up and say, okay, what can I do differently now? What was my part in that? Then you're going on the right track. Then you're going to start taking action in the right places. It doesn't even matter if it was somebody else was contributing in a really bad way. It doesn't matter anymore because now you are the one. I can choose where I put my effort. And then putting true effort feels different. So if you and your trainer are on the same page, or if you are riding and you make that commitment in that ride, and commitment feels different than somebody told me I should, or I think I should. Commitment feels different. I've got this, just this tunnel vision. I'm not letting any of that fear get in my head. I'm not letting any of that worry get in my head. I'm not letting anybody else's voice get in my head. I'm not letting my negativity get into my head. I am going to keep on working on this because it's important to me. That's 100% effort. Okay. I can choose where I put my effort. It doesn't have to be shoulds. It doesn't have to be somebody else. It can really be if you watch somebody riding and you like what they're doing and you want to be like that. I want to ride like Isabel. Well, I'm going to start putting effort into the things that I see her putting effort in, even if it's a little bit hard for me, because it's going to change my riding to get out of my own head, stop focusing on these little things that might not be important, and worry about the things that she talks about. Okay, we got to go forward. The horse has to be in front of us. Whatever it is, I mustn't be gripping with my upper legs. You know, these kind of things. And I'm going to work at that, and I'm going to commit to that. And I'm going to make mistakes sometimes, but I'm going to keep making that better. Remember, there are things we can control. This is number 4. There are things we can control and things that we cannot. So every experience will tell us something and teach us something. Control the controllables and learn from the rest. So when we are putting effort in, we should not be putting effort into controlling the weather, controlling that person who's walking the horse, you know, by the barn that shouldn't be, or that's worried about somebody riding in the ring that you can't control. We can't control those things. We're going to control the things that we can control. Where our horse is going. How fast is it getting there? Can I steer? Can I go slower? Can I ride in a way that that other rider knows where I'm going so that we're not crashing? These things I can control. Getting my horse's attention because it's windy. These things I can control. Getting mad at the wind, I can't control that. So we want to be careful about that. As we're thinking about putting our effort in, control the controllables and don't worry about the rest. Learn from it. And then the fifth one in this is identify what's within your power and then take action on that, and don't worry about the rest. Worrying is a waste of time. So identify what is in your sphere of control, what is in your power, and then let go of the worrying. So big number 4, embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. So I am improving every day. Tomorrow, this will feel easier is our mantra for this one. That is our mindset. Where I am improving every day. Tomorrow, this will feel easier. So as humans, we are programmed to avoid discomfort. Our mind is always in a constant battle to tell us, don't work so hard. You don't need to do that. This isn't necessary. It's okay to eat that donut. You don't have to work out today. It's always in the background. Stay comfortable. Don't do too much. We have to knowingly put ourselves into slightly uncomfortable situations in order to grow. And we have to get control of our minds. It's so important. If you know you set that intention today to get on the treadmill, to be better about your diet, your mind is going to fight with you all the way along about it. But you want every day to make that little tiny step more in the direction that you want to go. So really, you don't have to make a big leap and go from not working out to working out for an hour, like my husband does, and then not be able to walk for 2 days. But you can jump on that treadmill for 10 minutes, and then you can make it 20 minutes. You can do that meditating for 5 minutes and then add 5 minutes next week. Don't do it all at one time. Trick yourself into it. All of a sudden, you're going to start looking forward to it. But know that your mind is looking to keep you comfortable. It's not really the one that's making the effort to grow. Our spirit needs to be allowed to do that pushing to grow. The second one in this is, if it is easy, your goal is not high enough. Comfort zones keep us stagnant. So be careful about that. If you really feel like you're coasting along, maybe you need to make your goal a little bit higher. Whether we're talking about fitness, your skill level, or external pressure, map out a plan that will build resilience. Again, you don't want to be burying yourself in mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. You're going to run a little too much. It's going to feel a little bit stiff tomorrow. That's okay. But you don't want to be so sore that you can't go to work or you can't ride. Also think about things like your skill levels. It's important that as you start to ride your horse more forward, as you start to do harder exercises, that you build that skill level up step by step by step. You don't just go in, try something really hard, have a huge fight with your horse, and then give up on it. So think about it, map out a plan for your fitness, for your riding skills, for your horse's learning. Think about the skill level and the, how you want to map that out, and then go after it step by step. and you want to bounce back. So when you make mistakes, remember that resilience is also a skill. The This is so, we forget, and nobody really talks about that. But I'm improving every day. Tomorrow this will feel easier. When do we always have our worst rides? The day after we have our best rides, and we come out and we think we got it, and we just try to start off where we ended up yesterday, and everything is a disaster. So really think about mapping that out step by step. And then when you have that bad day, it's not about the bad day. It's about the next day going out, trying again, putting a smile on, and realizing where did it go wrong so that I cannot repeat that mistake again. All right. But I find that it's so funny that oftentimes when we start to really think we get it, then we take certain things for granted. We don't warm up properly. And then all of a sudden things feel like they're going down the hill again. So build up that resilience. Resilience is a skill that we need to work on. And then the last one in that one. So our motto is, I'm improving every day. Tomorrow this will feel easier. And the last one in that is never say never. I hear so many people saying that I'll never be able to do that. I'll never be able to get that. I'll never be able to ride like that. And your mind is listening. Your body's listening. Your horse is listening. So be careful about that. Never, never, never say never. Tomorrow it will feel easier because you did it today. And tomorrow it'll feel easier. And the next day it'll feel easier. And then the day after that, we'll decide something and make it harder again. But when you start building up that resilience, when you start mapping out that step by step by step, things are going to happen. Things are going to get better. You're going to get better, even when it surprises you. So never say never. I had so many times with horses that I would think, oh my gosh, is this ever going to happen? Is this ever going to get better? Am I ever going to get him to understand this? And then all of a sudden, there it is going amazing. So, when you start doubting yourself is then you start sliding back. When you just keep your eye on the ball and taking those small steps, all of a sudden things can be amazing. All right. So the last one, number 5, start and finish every day with gratitude. And the mantra or the self-talk for this one, I am so grateful to have horses in my life. I'm thankful for all of the amazing experiences and lessons they bring to me. And I believe that when we start off that way, that no matter how the ride goes, we're starting really from the right place. And the ride will go that well because we are appreciating what these horses are entering into with us. The fact that these big guys let us work with them, that they try to do what we say, that they let us ride them, is just a miracle in itself. And I think a lot of times we start to get pressure about trying to get better, trying to bring them up the levels, pressure about a horse show, and we forget that they are willingly joining us in this crazy thing of riding dressage. So I think that being grateful every day is very, very, very important. And that gratefulness will help you to bring compassion to your training, thoughtfulness to your actions, and uh, and your whole experience with the horses will be completely different. So the first one in this is remember the gift that horses are to us. We, when we are honest about their generosity, it is impossible to feel pressure and failure. Number two is feeling gratitude shifts fear of failure to a place of acceptance, and you are able to put forth effort without self-judgment and comparison. It's just impossible to feel grateful and judgy at the same time. My mind can't conceive that. So if I feel myself starting getting judgy, then I have to remind myself about the gratefulness, and then the judginess just goes away. Number three, or C, is gratitude brings energy and lightness to all situations. Bringing this mindset to your rides will help you cultivate curiosity, joy, and compassion. This will turn your horse into a willing partner. So if I'm curious when I'm riding, I'm curious, how does my horse learn? Does my horse understand what I'm saying? What would be a better way to teach him this? That curiosity and openness already brings that conversation. If I'm going to be happy and playful and laugh when things go a little bit wrong, then I'm not going to be going after my horse in a negative way when mistakes come in. And if I'm compassionate, when I ride, I try to put my mind into my horse a little bit. What is my horse feeling right now? How is he understanding me right now? What are the answers that he's giving me when I'm asking these questions? And if I come with that compassion about, well, okay, we're going around here, we're like trotting around an indoor arena where where he's bored, or he's stiff, or he's cold, or whatever, I'm going to get a little bit more compassionate. The way that I'm going to interact with him is going to be in a much more positive way. And that gratitude brings me to that place of compassion. It brings me to put myself sometimes in his shoes. And I think when we put ourselves in their shoes, our communication is going to improve a lot. So for me, gratitude is going to bring a lot more light and energy to situations, and it's going to create a more willing partner. So, does anybody have any questions?